Here comes a new challenger.
Infamous Second Son, it's good. It's a good game. It's definitely the best game in the Infamous series, but it's like, it's good in the same way that like a flannel is good, because like, you can get a good flannel. You'd be like, how's your new flannel? It's really good. You don't sound that excited about your flannel. No, I am. It's a good flannel. It's the best flannel I've ever had, but it's still a flannel, so you can't get that excited about it. That's what Infamous Second Son is. I've enjoyed quite a lot of superhero games. I think I really like a good trilogy, because I'm quite into the comic books, so probably the Batman games. So, you know, Arkham Asylum was great, Arkham City was amazing, Arkham Origins. It's probably a cliche, I'm sure everybody else has already said this, but I guess mine would probably have been Paste Pot Pete. Paste Pot Pete had made a multi-polymer adhesive. Used it to fight crime. Really? Paste Pot Pete? Paste Pot Pete? No? My favourite racing game of all time is probably Super Sprint. For any older viewers, it was a massive in the arcade in the 80s. Had 3 steering wheels on the cab, which was amazing. Actual pedals, which was incredibly exciting at the time, but most importantly, I could absolutely destroy my brother at it. What next for the driving genre? Probably, in all seriousness, I think probably parking. Because obviously everything's been open world and vast expanses, driving for miles, so these things sort of go in waves. So I think it'll come right back and get into the really like tight little spaces. You're looking at me funny, but honestly, 3 years' time you'll be raving about Forza Multi-Story. Well, Gamergate, that was awesome, wasn't it? Because you know, in the past, if you wanted strangers to hurl abuse at you, you'd have to go into a town centre in the weekends in the dark and just hang around and wait for someone to be horrible to you. Whereas now, you can literally just tweet #Gamergate into your phone, and within moments you can have a queue of idiots line up to spout misogynistic abuse at you. So, yeah, living in the future. If you're in Resident Evil, when the wolf jumped through that window and goes over you, I didn't so much poo myself as leap up so quickly that the poo didn't have time to travel up with me. I think it's a great little game. It's sort of like an action arcade version of Braid, a little bit. Yeah, I really enjoyed the gameplay. It was interesting. It's always nice, those quirky little indie games that come through. Bit of fun. But I think my favourite thing about it is, you know, when you pause and rewind, and you get the little sort of glitching of the red, green, blue down the side, like you're rewinding an old VHS cassette on an old telly, which no one watching this under 25 will have a clue what I'm talking about. But it made me smell like an idiot while I was playing it. I don't get it. I don't get Ho-Hokum. I really wanted to like it, because I like Flow and Flower. Like Flower, I really quite got into from that game company, but I can't understand Ho-Hokum because I don't think there is a point to it. I think they say that it's meant to be relaxing, but like, I struggle to justify the time I find to play computer games anyway without feeling guilty. And all I can think about if I'm playing Ho-Hokum is that I should be washing my car. Time Crisis changed things up by allowing you to duck behind boxes through the use of a massive pedal. Holding a plastic gun while simultaneously stamping on something usually reserved for guitar effects is one of the many reasons during the late 90s I was irresistible to literally no women. A statistic I've managed to maintain right up to the present day. As a Nintendo fan, I think this year's been great for Nintendo. We've had Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze, Super Smash Bros, Bayonetta 2, Mario Kart, and all the DLC. So I still maintain that, as of yet, if you want good games, the Wii U is still the best console out of the 3 in this generation. It's a great game. It's brutally hard. It is punishingly hard. It's basically Dark Souls with a 2D cartoon monkey. I've really enjoyed it. I've always loved the Civilization series. Civilization Revolution on the PS3 I wasted so much time on, and then I moved on to 3 and 4. I went backwards because I got Civ Rev because a mate recommended it on the PS3, and then started going back through like on my Mac and the PC, the old ones. And I've really enjoyed. I like the sci-fi side to it. It's really, really good. The difficult thing is that like, if I start playing the game, I want to play a scenario through to completion, which means you've got to sort of block out hours and hours to play it all through in one sitting. Otherwise, when I come back to it, I forget what it is. So what I'd really like to do is actually like block a week out where I could just go away somewhere and I could just properly play through one of those games, like with Tropico and things like that. And that's probably why I'll die alone. I love Shovel Knight. It's a little guy with a shovel. It's a sword. It's a little knight. It's called Shovel Knight, so I should have been able to say that much more succinctly. It's a knight with a shovel would be the best way to say that, wouldn't it? Dear, oh dear. Just by making it a retro one, they could have just made it fine, but they haven't. They've made a really, really, really good game. I love it. It's sort of like, it's platformy, but it's like Mega Man, but without being quite so brutally horrible to you. It's wonderful. It's a wonderful thing that exists. If anybody's watching and they can't decide what they want to do over Christmas when they get sick of their parents, Shovel Knight. Nidhogg. Yeah, it's a bizarre name. I don't actually know what it means, but I suppose that doesn't matter. But as someone who has been developing a live video gaming show about retro games for the last 18 months, it was somewhat embarrassing when you gave me the list of games to find out this one completely passed me by. It's just intense. It's amazing. If you watch it online, if you watch it on YouTube, it seems, I mean, it's nice that it's got the retro style, but it doesn't seem like that much of a thing. But it is really intense to play, and even if you're not playing it, if you're watching it, it's so satisfying. It should be dreadful. It looks so bad when you're not engaged with it, but actually the moment you pick it up, it's glorious. It's glorious. I'm really glad it's on the list so high as well, because I would imagine a lot of people like me just had no idea this was even a thing, and you must get it. You must get it. South Park, the game, is sort of like The Wire for TV drama, in that everybody said, you know, you watch The Wire and then you watch every other drama and it just feels like it's been badly written or it's a bit clunky. The Wire was just so much better. And I think South Park's like that for humour in video games. After you've seen comedy, like South Park's game, the comedy in that, you realise just how dreadful humour is managed in most other games. And I mean, there's loads of really good points. I was going through the game again, just trying to think of it, but I couldn't pick a single moment that is brilliant in it that I can say that won't get cut out of a daytime TV show. But it is amazing.
Step forward now and fulfill your It's
a really beautiful game. It's a very engaging story. It's another one of those little surprises that it wasn't really on my radar, but I ended up really enjoying it. I think it was nice because my wife, she's not really a gamer. A couple of my friends aren't either, but they sometimes come around and hang out, and it was quite nice to have a game like that they can watch you play and sort of join in and play along and engage with it. It's sort of like a gateway drug for people who think games are for kids. As someone with a lot of internalised angst, I love the idea of shooting other people in the face. Unfortunately, I lack the massive arms or predilection for knife wounds that would have made prison a viable career option, so as a result, as a way of release, I love playing these games. Nothing wrong with this one. It's a good game. It's sort of one where if you sat in your house and you're waiting for a taxi, you can just fire it up for a few minutes and have a blast. Literally. It's like the pun. I wish I hadn't said that.